Hello and welcome to Last Week in Finance. Today is October 11 of 2020. Yeah, we're still in 2020. Okay, let's go to the numbers. The S&P 500 went up this week, almost 4%. 3.84% to be accurate. Right now, the S&P 500 is in 3,477 points. Gold went up this week. 1.62% right now the ounce of gold. It's in $1,930 per ounce. Silver way up almost 6%. Right now the ounce of silver is at $25.16. The DXY, the US dollar index, went down this week 0.84%, and Bitcoin went up $800. Right now, Bitcoin it's at $11,357 per a Bitcoin. Okay, before I go to the main topic of this week, I wanna talk about the Boeing company and why is that? For me, this is a personal opinion. This is an educated opinion. Boeing is the most important company in the US. And why is that? Because unlike these Silicon Valley geeky companies, Facebook, Netflix, whatsoever, Boeing, for me, is the most important company that make tangible assets. They make planes. They manufacture high-end products. In this case, of course, planes. They give high quality jobs to people who maybe don't have a fancy degree, they have some technical skill, of course, they have some technical training, technical expertise. But at the end of the day, Boeing is the most important company in the US regarding job creation, high quality job creation, and high quality product manufacturing. And of course, they got hit very hard this year. And well, actually, their decline of Boeing started last year with the 737 MAX fiasco. As you remember, the 737, they developed the 737 MAX, which is a brand new version of the old reliable 737 Classic. And they suffered a couple of crashes last year, and the stock went down. Okay, right now the stock price of Boeing is $167. That stock went down this year 48%. At his peak last year, the stock was over $500. And the stock price remained in the high $300 just before the COVID-19 crisis began in China and in Asia in general. In this year, they did a 10% downsizing from the 160,000 jobs they had in different locations. They are located, the headquarters are in Chicago. They have main bases in Washington State, Texas, Arizona, and other locations in the US. They reported in the second quarter 2.4 billion in losses. But I have to remember the average salary from a average employee at Boeing is $76,000 per year. That's way above the US national salary average. I hope they take off again. I actually believe, and this is not wishful thinking. I think the stock and the production of the company will pick up in the next few years. We need time, of course. We need to have to figure out this COVID-19 and get back to normal, or at least a stable new normal, new status quo post COVID-19. Okay, now with the main issue, gold versus Bitcoin. Who's gonna win? First of all, what I like to point about is, and that is my personal opinion, is that gold and Bitcoin serve two different purposes, investment wise, of course. Everyone, no, I heard these debates with gold is better than Bitcoin and Bitcoin is better than gold. And for me, that's crap. I mean, for me, they're both really good assets. I'm bullish on both, but they serve very different purposes. Of course, what is gold? Gold is a precious metal, and it's long time has had been used as currency and store of value. Why is that? Because you can't make gold out of thin air. You have to mine it, and most of the gold that we have today has been already mined. It's just around 20, around 10 or 20% more that it has to be mined in the future. The rest is already above ground. By the same token, what makes Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general valuable? Because this blockchain technology makes that Bitcoin is not abundant. You can just make Bitcoin out of thin air. You have to mine it. It's a very complicated computer process. I mean, you computer geeks, if you're listening to this, you're probably going to know far better than I. But the main issue with Bitcoin is that you can create Bitcoin out of thin air. It will be mined. There is a limited amount of supply of Bitcoin, 21 million. Right now in the world, it's over 17 million that's already been mined. I mean, computer applied mining, of course, not the traditional. And the last Bitcoin will be mined around the year 2000 and 100 year after Christ. Okay, let's go with the performance of first of gold this year. Gold was on his lowest point this year at $1,491 per ounce. Right now, that from that low in March of this year, gold is being appreciated 30% on market value. Now, Bitcoin was stable early this year between 7 8,000, but it reached a floor in March 13 of this year at $4,106 was the lowest. I mean, it was a very volatile session, March 13, and since that point, Bitcoin went up and appreciated 166 and 76%, almost triple. Right now, like I mentioned earlier, a Bitcoin is worth $11,000, 357. So almost triple this year. Okay, here's my opinion on both. First, gold, we have to remember and take it with a grain of salt. Gold is a great store of value, but I mean very long-term store of value. It will appreciate against fiat currency. If you're rich or if you have, very a lot of liquid assets and you wanna preserve your purchasing power over the next decade, of course, it makes sense to have a small amount of your portfolio of liquid assets, talking about 5 to 10%, and put it on gold. Perfectly reasonable opinion. Right now, but what I don't recommend is take 50, 70% of your liquid portfolio or your liquid assets and turn it into gold. That's stupid. Why is that? Because you know the value of gold, only 12% of the gold right now in the world is used for intrinsic value. I mean, for manufacturing process. I mean, we have gold in watches, electronic devices, even medical equipment, even space technology has contains some gold. Okay, the rest is 30 something percent on jewelry, and the rest is just hedging and speculation, like a financial asset. So for me, gold is overpriced for what it actually their intrinsic value does, but it's underpriced against fiat currency at the moment. Just my opinion. This is not financial advice. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt, gold geeks around the world. By the other hand, Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin is not gold. It doesn't have intrinsic value. It's just a very practical way in order to exchange money, get purchasing power, and it's an interesting speculation, very long term. Remember, remember those days 10 years ago when Bitcoin cost about a few cents? Well, the joke is on us. But I also wouldn't put my portfolio, my liquid portfolio, in Bitcoin. Just, I mean, something very small, like 1%, 2%, something like that. As an speculation, money that you can afford to lose. Bitcoin right now is over $11,000 in market value. It could reach 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. I don't know. Maybe it could go back to zero, which honestly I don't believe is going to happen, but it could go down like every other financial asset. So what Bitcoin presents is an interesting speculation, long term, not for short term trading. What I will do is, actually I'm doing it right now, is just investing small amounts of Bitcoin, keep it there, let's see what happens. I mean, is the opportunity cost is too great for not to do that, and that's it. I mean, don't get the idea that you're gonna become rich with Bitcoin, but it's an interesting speculation. So, for recap, gold short-term store of value for a crappy investment. Bitcoin, a very interesting speculation investment, crappy as a store of value. And that's it. That's my humble opinion in this issue. That will be all for this week, and please take care and be safe. Have a nice week.